Hello and welcome back. A judge shut down the legal challenge by Libertarian presidential nominee Gary Johnson and Green Party nominee Dr. Jill Stein. They wanted to be included in this fall's upcoming presidential debates. The pair sued the Commission on Presidential Debates, alleging violations of antitrust law and the First Amendment. Meanwhile, the commission is directing the venues that will host the debates to draw plans to provide a third podium, saying the university host should be prepared. Either way, they might be joined on stage. And joining me now, it's Green Party presidential nominee, Dr. Jill Stein. Welcome back to the show, Dr. Stein. Nice to see you again.
Great to see you, Kennedy.
So how much of a blow is it having this lawsuit dismissed?
I'd say it's not a blow at all. This is what the court has been doing for a long time. The American people have been clamoring for a real debate, not just the two parties who control the debates. The Commission on Presidential Debates is actually a private corporation run by Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's no surprise they control it. And in this election, above all, the American people are absolutely screaming for more voices and more choices. We have the most disliked and untrusted presidential candidates in history, and both Gary Johnson and I need to be in that debate so the American people can know their choices.
I agree. I've been screaming from the mountaintops this entire time. What would you say to Hillary Clinton if you were on the debate stage with her?
You know, we've had enough of these policies that favor Wall Street and take us to war. And it's time for us to actually stand up for what the American people need. I'm the only candidate in this race that actually is calling for the emergency jobs program that we need right now to create the jobs, get us out of this economic emergency. And we need to solve the climate crisis. We need to stop giving it away to the banks, as Hillary Clinton has done. She's still sponsored by the banks, still has her secret private speeches.
She is. I mean, she's definitely been enriched by Wall Street in a lot of those speeches. She's been enriched by rich people, but now doesn't want anyone to be rich now that she is. Donald Trump's economic plan. He had a long kind of winding speech interrupted by protesters yesterday. In a minute or less, because we're unfortunately running out of time, believe me, I would love to spend the afternoon talking about these things with you. What did you think of his plan?
I think, unfortunately, there's nothing new in his plan, and it does not address the crisis that we have, the crisis of economic inequality, of growing poverty, of true job creation. I would actually create an emergency jobs program to put 20 million jobs on the table. He's got more giveaways for the super wealthy. He does away with the estate tax, which I call the aristocracy tax. Yeah. It prevents this massive accumulation of wealth in the hands of very few. So,
but don't you think people in this country have the right to try and become wealthy?
Absolutely, yes, they do. But if so much wealth is concentrating into so few hands, it's bad for all of us. We cannot have an economy because so much of the money is in the hands of the very, very powerful and very few. So everyday people can't go to the store. They can't buy things. They can't support our small businesses. We need an economy that's actually working for all of us, not just for the few at the top.
No, I agree with you about the small businesses, but I disagree with you about people not being able to shop. I mean, if you go to Target, if you go to Walmart, if you go to places like that, there are plenty of people still shopping and consuming lovely piano music. One of the things that I wanted to ask you, I've got a coworker here who wants to be a supporter of yours. She considers herself to be a progressive, but it is your anti-vaccine stance that has turned her off. I mean, you're a doctor. Surely you know that the science has been settled against that whole anti-vax movement.
Exactly. I know of no evidence linking vaccines to autism, which is the big concern.
Yeah.
This is a smear campaign. This shows how scared they are. They're trying to divert the agenda, divert the discussion to a position I've never taken.
So you have never taken, you are not anti-vaccine?
I have never been anti-vax. Okay. I've always been in support of getting the pharmaceutical industry out of our regulatory boards.
Yeah.
Because when you've got the revolving door, and you know how much lobbying went into the pharmaceutical industry's power on Capitol Hill?
Yeah.
$700 million in 2 years alone. So between the revolving door and all the lobbyists, we need to make sure that our regulatory boards are working for everyday people,
well, I'm
not just for big pharma.
I understand that, but I'm glad you got to clear that up, because there are a lot of people out there, and I see that on Twitter when I talk about having you on my show. A lot of people say she's an anti-vaxxer, therefore it's an invalid campaign. I'm glad you clarified that, and I also think that there has been a media shutout on the left. I think that in a big way your campaign has been silenced, because there are a lot of people who are allied with Hillary Clinton who see you as a threat. What would you like to say about that?
We know that Hillary Clinton has an incredible trolling campaign going on. So when you see this stuff on social media, which is false, which is an attack campaign, you know, that's what it needs to be called. All the backdoor backstabbing that was done to the Bernie Sanders campaign, we saw that in the leaked emails. That effort has now been redirected against our campaign.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. We have to get you and Governor Johnson on the debate stage. As you said, more voices, more choices this year, more than any other election cycle I've seen. Dr. Stein, thank you for your time.
Great to be with you, Kennedy.
Thanks.